All right, people, get ready for one of the best car repair videos of your life. Let's go. Dodge Caravan, Entervan, handicap van, Grand Caravan, Voyager. Don't matter. Let's get it. All right, rear brakes. We've already done the front. We got a 14 millimeter right back here, bolt. We got 15 millimeter right here to keep her from spinning. Spray some PB Blaster on your boot because you're going to be spinning that back end. You don't want the boot to come and tear. Go ahead and just get her sprayed down right now. All right, so we're going to take both those off, these nuts, and this e-brake cable is going to hold us back. So what we're going to do is zip out these 18 millimeters right here, and bada boom right here on the mounting bracket. Take it all off as one piece. These calipers like to pinch to the rotor, so it might fight you a little. You got to pry with a screwdriver right in between here and here sometimes. All right, let's get it. All 4 bolts loosened and out of there. If you're working on the driver's side, there'll be a bolt here for the e-brake cable. You might want to take that one out. It's going to give you extra get up and go. See, look at this. Everything's loose, but it's not coming off of the rotor. See, I could actually take this whole rotor and everything off as one piece. We don't want to do that, though. We're going to take a screwdriver and pry this little SOB right off of there. Can't do this one with one hand while I'm filming. You get the gist. All right, that came off easily with 2 hands. We got our mounting bracket here. There's no hardware in there. There's supposed to be hardware. Check it out. It comes with hardware. Where'd it go? I got a bag of hardware right there. These clips go in there. I'll show you how to do that. First off, we're going to clean all this rust out of here. That rust will swell the hardware and the pads and make them freeze up. That's not good. Next thing, see how these spin and go in and out? Pull these little suckers right out. All right, it doesn't want to come free. See, that boot comes off of there. Get off of there. It's so hard to do things with one hand, people. There we go. Boom. We're going to clean that old grease off, put some new grease in. All right, clean these up, and then I'll put a little film of grease there to keep them from rusting in the future for when we put the hardware on it. Let's go. All right, we got our bracket all assembled. Bada bing, bada boom, greased up, cleaned up. Go ahead and put your pads in right now. Make sure they're facing the right way. See, they got a curvature. Goes with the curvature of the rotor. Put them in right. Magnet. All right, we got our caliper, turn back tool, all set up right here. 2 little notches right there in the caliper. You can see 1 notch on the left side there. And what we do is we put this tool in and we counterclockwise this. It tightens it back against there. And then we turn this forward. So we're getting inward pressure and turning it clockwise. That's how the caliper screws back in. You need the inward pressure and the clockwise rotation at the same time. Here's the rest of the turn back kit. You can rent them and get your money back at pretty much every major auto parts stores. All different adapters and stuff. Find the one you need. It's going to be the most common one for this one. Average size, 2 pins, locks right in. You can also use one of these cheapy tools. They're like a couple dollars. So you find the 2 you need, probably these 2. Pop it in the caliper, put a 3/8 extender in there. But the problem with that is you need inward pressure. So you got to always be putting inward pressure on it. Hard to do with just one person. If you're going to use a cheap tool, have somebody hold the caliper down or go through the extra step of bolting this back up without the pads in, and then you can fit the tool in here so that you're pressing up against something. So you would actually put your mounting bracket back on without any pads in it, and you would have your rotor off, but you can bolt it back up, and then you can push straight in and turn. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn this, and it's going to push the caliper in. Make sure it doesn't take the seal with it. Make sure that seal's staying in its groove the whole way in. All right, let's get her compressed. All right, we got a little silicone brake grease just where the caliper is going to contact the backing plates of the pads. I've got the mounting bracket on there. We squeeze our pads together. Make sure your rotor's straight. You can throw a lug nut on to keep it straight. We are good to go. And I have put the 2 bolts in loosely. I haven't put them in all the way because we got to put that bracket on. First thing I want to do, put this caliper over here, press in on these on these sliders and then put the bolts into the back of the caliper. And then we'll worry about those bolts on the back. All right, the caliper's on. These bolts are put in, not all the way, just by finger tight. Now it's time to back out this bolt so we can put our little metal bracket on, and then we'll put the bolt back in, tighten it up real tight. Tighten up this one real tight here, those 18 millimeters. Then we'll tighten up our 14s, get them nice and tight. But they are small bolts, so don't tighten them enough that you snap them off. We press that caliper in, sent all that old fluid back. So let's give it our brake bleeding. So we're gonna, after all those bolts are tight, we're gonna press on the brake pedal 5-10 times, get the piston to come out and primed against these brake pads. Make sure you do that. Then we're gonna bleed the brakes. I think that's a 10 millimeter bleeder screw on there. We'll press the brake pedal a few more times, take this lug nut off, put our tire on, tighten those lug nuts down, take her for a test drive. That ought to do it.